Hello, sweet friends. I am back to share with you my 30 days of gratitude journal as it is now before the start of our 30 days of gratitude. Now, I've been working and writing and getting everything ready for the launch, but I have had so much fun putting this together. And the reason that I got it to this state is that I sew my signatures in, and there are some things that are just easier to do when you have the pages as individual pages rather than as sewn into the signature, and by that you'll see what I mean here in a second. But this is where it is right now, and I'm not going to do anything else to it until we actually launch. And then as I am sharing the devotionals and working on things, I will be working in my notebook, my journal, along with all the participants. So that's going to be fun. I'm saving that as kind of a treat for me so that when I have everything written and we are actually live and doing the 30 days, I can just focus on actually entering into my own season of gratitude. So without any further ado, let me show you where we are right now. Right now, I have done the outside of the journal, haven't done anything to the back here. I have added, let me see if I can do it this way. I added a D-ring. This is one of those old Tim Holtz D-rings that are like this, and then they actually connect right here, and I put them down through some holes into the spine prior to doing the inside cover. And then to that I have added some fibers, this tassel. All of these fibers are in Hope's add-on kit, the fiber kit. I made some little dangles. I love my danglies and my sparklies. I took the Scrabble tile that has a T on it for Thanksgiving, and then I took a couple of autumn jewels and some leaves and made this little dangle right here. And oh, there's a little bitty dangle right up here that's just some little faux pearls and an autumn bead. So that's where that is. And I created these with Iron Orchid design molds. I love them. This is the acorns one. This is the mushroom one. They are so detailed. They're easy to work with. I use their air dry paper clay, modeling clay or whatever, and honestly I made them. It took me about 15 minutes to make, way more than I needed, and then I let them air dry overnight and they were ready to paint. Super simple. This is the title of 30 Days of Gratitude. This is the logo from the virtual retreat, and I created it on my Silhouette Cameo. And then this is not even heat transfer vinyl. It is just regular sticky vinyl in a bronzy metallic textured, and is sticking really well to the fabric. I wouldn't do it for anything on something that I was going to wash and wear, but I think it's going to hold up pretty well here. Okay, let's get inside. Here is the inside cover, and I put some wired ribbon that was kind of like burlap, and then I made this little layer of mushrooms out of a mushroom dye that I got on Amazon. I will link down below my store because I've linked as many things as I can down there, but this is actually a paper dye, but it cut through the felt really, really, really well. Okay, this is from the paper pack that I created. This was just a background that I had created. Some tea-dyed paper that I think I got off of Etsy. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got it off of Etsy. Part of the paper pack. You'll see I've put a mixture of printables and then just extra little pages from my stash. I love to do that. I love mixing and matching things in a journal. It adds visual interest and texture and gives me more fun pages to play with. This is a ribbon from Hope's Ribbon Collection. Those are available on janngraydesigns.com. I'll give you a link down below. Just sewed them to a piece of straw paper. I use this, I'm I'm kind of stingy with how I use the straw paper because it came from Italy. Roxy's creation, she lives in Italy and she sometimes is able to get straw paper, and I just love it. It has such a neat texture to it. It's not like any paper that I've ever worked with before. Just took the strip of ribbon, cut it to size, and then did a little zigzag stitch. Here is a page. I was debating about that ribbon, but I decided against it. Made a little pocket here, and apparently have stuck it. I'll fix it later. Here's a little pocket. This is from one of the printables, and then just made a little collage. And then this is just a leftover piece from something that I created. It's one of my printables, but it just was such pretty paper. I thought, well, I'll just stick it in there. And then this right here, the centerpiece, is a folio, and it's made from a book about the birds of North America. I got it off of eBay, and such a fun little way to make a folio, which I normally would just slip in, but I loved it so much I decided to make it the centerpiece. I'm going to do a separate video on how I did this. I actually made it with copies out of the book. I didn't even take the pages out of the book. I just made color copies of them and made this little folio. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it has a lot of fun elements to it and would be so easy to do with any kind of book that you might have. So again, here's the other part of that printable and my precious straw paper. Some more printables. Here is a printable that I wanted to add this. This is a stamp. It is so old, I don't even know if I have it anymore. This I found in my stash of pre-stamped things, and Come Ye Thankful People Come is a great hymn about being thankful and grateful. So I just added it to the page with a little bit of material and a little collage. I'm in a huge collage phase of my design style right now, and sunflowers are just a favorite. You'll notice that there's a lot of sunflowers and there's a lot of mushrooms in this particular journal. I love it. And I've put a couple of hymns in here. I didn't cut them out. I took them out of a hymnal that I had a duplicate of, and I cut the threads and pulled them out. So these are actually already put together. I just reinforced their spine with a little bit of washi tape. The other side of that lovely, I believe they did it with a doily or a placemat or something like that. And here we are at the back side. This is my second signature. Part of putting this together that took a little bit longer than I had planned on was that I had planned on just having 2 signatures. And when I got them put together, I realized that some of the elements were a little too chunky to just keep piling them in. They were getting further, and the distance between the middle and this back here was getting to be pretty far. So I divided them up into 3 signatures, and that seems to fit pretty nicely, although it's still a pretty chunky monkey, and I don't have a lot of decoration done yet. Here is just a little piece of paper lace. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments down below. I may just use it as a pretty inclusion, or I may attach something to it. Feel free to give me your ideas. Some more printables, and I took another piece of coffee stained paper or tea dyed paper and folded it up. You'll see the other half over here. And my dog is going crazy, so I will be right back. Mira is my good little alert dog. If I'm upstairs in my studio and she starts barking, I know it's because I'm getting a delivery. Could be Amazon. Today it was Walmart bringing me groceries. I love that they do that. Okay, this is a printable, and I just cut it down. This actually is made out of 2 coin envelopes that I put together with some fabric and then put them in here. This is from a really fun book, and if you're interested in what book this is from, leave me a comment down below and I will find the title of it. It is kind of like the Diaries of an English Woman, our favorite book, but this one is all about fishing, and I grew up fishing, and I love the handwriting and the illustrations that are in it. So anyway, I did that. I put some fabric over it. Again, this is from Hope's fabric collection, one of her fabric collections, as is this. And that is the same fabric as I used in the front and the back of my book. This is fun. I'm using up my Tim Holtz packaging because it has such a it's sturdy, and it has such a fun little surface if you just want to put a quote or something on it. It works well as is. And then I covered up the back of it that had all of the product information with just a bit from one of the printables. We have in the printable collection, we do have a whole sheet of sentiments and word phrases that are fun to use. Again, a printable. You have with printables, and I'm not trying to convince anybody to use printables. If you have a stash of scrapbooking paper or digital paper, not digital paper, or scrapbooking paper, or stationery, or anything that you may have, even kind of fun copy paper works really well. You can make a junk journal without using printables. I'm just pointing these out because people ask me which are which. Are they mine? Are they somebody else's? In this particular journal, I have only used different kinds of paper from my stash or from the Autumn Splendor kit that is part of the 30 Days of Gratitude. So that's all. I'm not pushing them. Please, please, please know that I want you to use what you want to use. I'm just trying to be a person of information. Okay, this is another one of the hymnal pages. I used a 49 and Market rub-on there. This was a standalone little piece of ephemera that I created, and then I just used it to create a pocket. This is one of the leaves from Hope's leaf collection, and then I fussy cut this owl out of one of the little elements in the paper collection. I love him. He comes in several sizes in the collection. This is just a tea-dye page that I had made. And then this may be my all-time favorite page from this collection that I've created. I love the Thankful, Grateful, and Blessed, and then putting this very vividly colored leaf on top of it. It just had to be its own spread, and I don't know that I'm going to do anything else to it other than perhaps use this to write my daily gratitude words in here. I just think that it'd be fun to see this whole leaf covered up with my words of gratitude over the next 30 days. So I'm thinking about doing that. Then we're coming to the back side of the second signature. Lots of places to do fun things, more of that packaging. And then I took this pheasant. My dad was a pheasant hunter. I don't know if you were raised in a hunting tradition, but this reminds me of my dad so much. Here is another one of those coin envelopes. I put some of the printable on here, and then I fussy cut some of the leaves out because I wanted them to kind of pop up off the page. And more of the material, and then I just did a little stitching of a leaf. I think I got this at Dollar Tree. Yeah, I think it was a Dollar Tree find that I had. It was just fun. More of the printables. I have so many fun things, places to do things. I love this map. I could use this vintage map in just about any journal that I am doing. Okay, how pretty are these colors? I know that this looks like our typical fall, but this, honestly, in Texas, we're still having these really vivid colors of pansies and all kinds of mums and those sorts of things. So this also, as much as the oak leaves and acorns say fall to me, these kind of vivid colors are still part of my fall. And this is an envelope, and you'll see the other side of it. It's not an envelope in here. I sealed it up, and then I took a really large tea bag, and you can get them on Amazon. They're for you to put your own loose tea in and make sun tea or something like that. But I just get them, you can see that they're kind of a creamy white color, and I sprayed it and stamped it and then put some other fun things on. This is a piece of material that I put on a file folder. I used some of that heat and bond and then sent it through my embossing machine with an embossing folder and then spray painted it. I have lots of these kinds of backgrounds done and ready. I just pull them out when I was going to look and see if I could easily put my hands on them, but I moved them over to another place. I just keep a collection of them. I do play days. I don't always have time to do a huge start to finish project, but I think being creative every day is good for me. It kind of helps my sanity. It helps me be nice. It helps me to keep a good perspective on things. And so if I can come in and do a little something, and maybe one day I'll just put a bunch of fabric on folders and cut it up. Another day I'll come in and just sit and emboss, pull out several of my folders and go to my die cutting and embossing station and just create those. And that's all I do for that day. And then I might sew around them, might not do anything. May do some spraying or inking or but at the end, of maybe 2 or 3 days of just a little bit of play, creative play, I end up with something that is there for me to grab and use on something else. I mean, this would be kind of funny use to think that it was a completed project, but it is great fodder for making other things, kind of dressing them up and making them cool. So there's that. And then here's a little folder where I've put a couple of little ephemera bits, collaging because it's my thing right now. And I went ahead and marked this because I put this particular responsive reading in here because one of the devotionals that I've already written, I know has kind of a tongue-in-cheek thought about world peace that actually prompted me to be grateful about having personal peace. And so I want to use this, but because I'm creating this so far in advance and I wrote it so long ago, I wanted to remind myself why I had put this in here. And so world peace has been noted, and hopefully I'll remember to use it when I come to that devotion and it's time for journaling on that. Here is just a greeting card that I put in. I put another one of those backgrounds. See, I told you I take my play days seriously because if I don't like the result, I can throw it away. But I also may just chuck it in the bin, and then who knows when I may want it. Normally, these are not really my favorite colors. So I thought it was cool, and I thought it had kind of an interesting texture to it. I could not imagine myself using it, but then I started working on this journal, and these colors kind of began to show up, and this kind of works nicely with those colors. So that play day, although I played with colors that I wouldn't normally use, I kind of like how it turned out, and it was there, and I grabbed it, and I used it, and I kind of like it. This is a little tag from the printable, and I like using imagery, repeating imagery. It kind of pulls your eye through it. It's different, but this particular section has a little bit more of the bright colors in it, although it has muted colors as well. This was just an offcut from a page of tea dyeing or coffee dyeing that I did. I put a plastic placemat down and sprayed through it and then put it out in the sun, and I used pieces of it, so I didn't have a full sheet, but I thought I could use it anyway, and in the margin I just put a little ribbon, an oak leaf, and then this is a stamp, not a stamp, a wax seal that I got from an Artsa box. You know those boxes that of curated things from Israel? I subscribed to that a while ago and had gotten several boxes, and in one of them and they're fun and they support, I'm not sponsored, but I love the products that you get, and I love that it reminds you to pray for Israel. And this is a wax seal that was in that box, so that was kind of fun. And more printables. I even seem to do a little collaging when I'm creating a printable. But on the other hand, if you are like I have been so many times, I go through phases of feeling like, oh, I can do this collage thing, and then I go through times where I feel a little collage challenged, if you will. Then I love when papers already kind of have it there, and I can look at it as maybe a starting point or an idea of how to get my mojo back on that. So there we go. Then I have some map paper. Here is that thankful, grateful, and blessed page that does not have the leaf on it. It's still one of my favorite overall pages. And we're on the back side of this. Here we go. And I was adding this and forgot to take that clip off. I took some of that burlap ribbon and folded it over the side of this, the page, and then I put a little dangle because I like my sparkle, and it has a little acorn hanging off of the end of it. I think this was from the Metals kit, add-on kit by Hope. And then here's another one of those acorns. I told you I have a lot of them. They may keep showing up. I'm just warning you ahead of time. Here's that same, but it's muted, that same graphic element of all the bright. See, it comes, here it is really bright, and on some kind of busy paper, here's where I muted it back where I can do writing over it. Here's the back side of that little card, and I just put some of that fun wired ribbon down the side of it, and plenty of pumpkins. Here is the back side of that envelope that's not an envelope anymore, but I left this here because I thought I could attach something to it and make it kind of a tip-in or insert or whatever. And here is that last page, and here's my back cover. So there it is. I hope that was fun and hopefully not too fast, or was fast enough, but also gave you enough detail. Leave me any questions that you have down below, and I will try and answer them. I will put links to the things that I know where you can get them. Again, I am not trying to be an enabler. I am just trying to pre-answer the questions that I know I'm going to get a lot, if I can. So anyway, hope you are having a great day. I hope that you are preparing for your own season of gratitude. I got to tell you that every day that I work on this, one of the things I'm grateful for is the wonderful folks like you that are in this community that constantly inspire me, constantly point me back to Jesus, constantly give me so much encouragement and love. All of it is headed back to you as well. In the meantime, have fun. I'll be back with another video real soon, and find some time for creative play. I'll see you soon.